Ernest Session is a successful insurance broker. He helps people manage their money and their assets. But in the early years of his marriage, he needed some financial help himself.
I felt like I had holes in my pocket, quite frankly. It seemed like I couldn't hold on to money and something would always come up. There were many nights when I woke up and my wife was still asleep and I would worry about how am I going to pay the bills.
Marva suggested that tithing was the answer to the couple's problems, but Ernest didn't agree.
We were already having a tough time. We struggled. We had a hard time. One of our big treats was once a month to go to McDonald's, and that was just a struggle for us to do things like that. So it didn't make sense for me to give away 10% of my income.
Marva prayed that Ernest would change his mind. After hearing many messages from his pastor on money, he finally did.
I said, well, I've been trying it my way, and it doesn't work. So let me try it God's way and see if it works.
When the Sessions started consistently tithing on their income, they saw an immediate change in their finances.
Some money came that we were not expecting, and I really just believe that was like a confirmation from God that, see, I am watching, and I do care, and I will bless you.
The couple kept tithing even when Marva left her job to stay at home with the kids, and God continued to exceed the Sessions' needs.
The next year after she quit working, I actually made up her salary. I made my salary plus her salary plus just several $1,000s more. And so that to me was amazing that God had provided in such a way, because I had such a fear that I would not be able to do it. And I know it wasn't me doing it on my own, but it was God showing me that I can rely upon Him.
Now that the home finances were in order, Ernest had to tackle over $100,000 in business debt. He was surprised at what God directed him to do.
It just felt like the Lord began to lead me and speaking to me. He told me that the business was His, the entire business belonged to Him, and I needed to begin to tithe off of the entire business.
Ernest knew it would be a challenge, but he said yes to God and went from tithing on what he was making after taxes to tithing on his pre-tax profit. In the following years, his company grew 150%. He was able to pay down his debt. The Sessions also became CBN partners.
If we as Christians don't give, who will? We have a responsibility to do that, to help support ministries, get the word out.
Ernest and Marva have helped put 2 sons through college and now have a life they only dreamed of.
I was a kid who grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in an apartment. I'd never flown on an airplane before in my life. I've flown on so many airplanes now I can't even keep track of them. Been on so many trips I can hardly keep track, and God just continues to do wonderful, amazing things. He keeps me from having those holes in my pockets anymore. At nights of not sleeping well, no more. I just believe that the most important thing is to give to God. You can't rob God and expect to prosper. The Bible teaches that wherever our treasure is, that's where our heart is. And I believe God's looking for men, women, boys, and girls that He can trust, who He knows that He has their heart.